The world doesn't owe you happiness, okay? And the sooner you understand that, the sooner you'll stop being miserable. Listen, if you've ever sat there wondering why life feels so unfair, why happiness seems to slip through your fingers no matter what you do, this video is for you. We've all been fed the lie that happiness is something life is supposed to hand us. But what if that's exactly why so many of us are unhappy? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll see happiness in a completely different way. It might just change your life. He kept asking, "Why am I not happy? I've done everything I was supposed to do." Let me tell you a quick story. There's this guy, let's call him Mark. Mark grew up believing what most of us believe, that if he did the right things, went to school, got a job, paid his bills, life would reward him. He thought happiness was automatic. But by 28, Mark was burnt out, broke, lonely, and deeply confused. Sound familiar? That's because Mark's story is our story. We've all been subtly programmed to believe that happiness is a right, that it's something external, something the world owes us for simply existing. But here's the harsh truth. This is literally called the negativity biased S. Why you remember insults more than compliments, and why bad news hits harder than good news. It's evolutionary. The world doesn't owe you anything. Not love, not comfort, not success, and definitely not happiness. First off, happiness is not the default human setting. And weirdly, it's the most freeing truth you'll ever hear. They were alive. That was the main goal. Survival, not bliss. Let me explain. Our ancestors, those cavemen and cavewomen running from wild animals, were not happy. In fact, our brains are hardwired to focus on problems, risks, and threats. So when modern life tells us we should be happy all the time scrolling through Instagram highlight reels, watching influencers with the perfect lives, we're being sold an impossible dream. Happiness isn't a constant state. It's not a destination you reach. It's not something anyone or anything hands to you. Scientists call this hedonic adaptation. It means no matter how big the win, humans adapt and return to their baseline. It's a fleeting emotion, like sadness, like anger, like excitement. It comes and it goes. But here's the problem. For the first week, you're obsessed. 2 months later, you barely notice it. Most of us don't just want happiness. We expect it. We think, if I get this job, then I'll be happy. If I find the right partner, then I'll be happy. If I make more money, then I'll finally be happy. We're always living in this mental if-then trap, okay? It's like we VA outsourced our happiness to future events we can even control. And guess what? Even when those things happen, when you get the job, the relationship, the money, the happiness wears off. It's like buying a new phone. So the real question is, but the mental clarity, the pride, the strength, that feeling comes after the action, not before. Happiness grows when you plant seeds, not when you wait for the weather to change. How do you find happiness that doesn't fade, okay? And how do you live without constantly feeling like the world owes you more than it's giving? Let's break it down. 1. Happiness comes from action, not expectation. One of the biggest lies society tells us is that happiness is a feeling you can sit around and wait for. Wrong. Happiness is a byproduct of movement, of effort, of doing things that align with your values, your passions, and your purpose. Take exercise. Nobody feels like hitting the gym every day. Same goes for creativity, building relationships, learning something new. 2. Stop playing the victim card. Yeah, life's unfair for everyone. Some people start life on level 10. Others start at level -5. That's reality, okay? But sitting there saying it's not fair doesn't move you forward. It keeps you stuck. Instead of asking, why is life so hard for me? Flip it. Ask, what can I control right now? Even if it's just your attitude, even if it's tiny. You are not powerless unless you decide to be. 3. The power of purpose over pleasure. Studies show that writing down 3 things you be grateful for each day can boost happiness levels by 25%. Here's a wild fact. People who chase pleasure, constant comfort, dopamine hits, entertainment, to be less happy. Meanwhile, people who chase purpose even when it's hard, it's uncomfortable, stressful report higher levels of lasting well-being. That's why parents, even though they're stressed and sleep deprived, often report being happier than people living for just themselves. It's not about comfort, it's about meaning. And meaning comes from doing hard things, things that matter. 4. Comparison is the thief of joy. Happiness isn't something the world gives you. It's something you build every single day. So, let's wrap this up. You've heard this before, but let me say it differently. Every time you compare yourself to someone else, you're renting space in your own mind to a stranger, okay? And they're not even paying you for it. Social media fuels this comparison machine. Everyone is showing their highlight reel, not their behind-the-scenes mess. So stop measuring your life with someone else's ruler. It's your life, your race, your pace. 5. Gratitude is the shortcut. I know, it sounds cheesy, but science backs this up. Gratitude literally rewires your brain to be more positive. Key, it doesn't have to be deep. A hot shower, a funny meme, a friend who texted you. Gratitude is the mental habit that makes you realize you don't need more to be happy. You need to notice what you already have. If you're waiting for the world to make you happy, you'll be waiting forever. Happiness isn't guaranteed. It's not promised. You won't always feel happy, and that's okay. But you'll feel alive. And sometimes, that's even better.